What makes a person credible? When you say this one, Tebogo Chair, is credible or is not credible?
What makes a person credible, Chair, is exactly how it is defined when you Google. By encyclopedia, you'll see what it means. It's exactly that.
You are not going to answer us.
I've responded, Chairperson.
Do you know, all signs were there that there are some forces on the ground that want me out of the system. To be honest, I'm not even shocked, and I just accept the dismissal.
In a sweeping cabinet reshuffle aimed at restoring confidence in South Africa's higher education sector, President Cyril Ramaphosa has dismissed Dr. Nobuhle Ngabane as a Minister of Higher Education and Training. The decision follows mounting allegations of corruption tied to SETA board appointments during her brief and controversial tenure. Speaking to the media following her axing, a defiant Ngabane claimed her removal was influenced by forces on the ground working against her, and said, "To be honest, I'm not even shocked. I just accept the dismissal," confirming that she would remain a member of parliament despite the unfolding scandal. Ngabane has faced growing scrutiny over her handling of sector appointments and policy decisions, all while government seeks to fortify the country's higher education landscape. Stepping into the role is Buti Manamela, a seasoned politician with deep roots in the department. Manamela has served as Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology since 2017 and previously held a key post in the presidency. His appointment is seen as a stabilizing move, one that promises continuity while bringing an experienced hand to guide a department facing internal controversy and external pressure for reform. To further strengthen the ministry's leadership, Ramaphosa has appointed former KwaZulu-Natal Dr. Nomusa Dube-Ncube as Deputy Minister. Dube-Ncube is no stranger to high-stakes governance, having led the KZN provincial government and served as MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. A statement from the presidency highlighted her unwavering commitment to public service and cited Section 93B of the Constitution, which allows for the appointment of 2 deputy ministers from outside the National Assembly, signaling a bold but calculated move to restore stability and public trust. While national attention focused on the reshuffle in Pretoria, political tensions simmered in KwaZulu-Natal as cracks began to show within the Government of National Unity, a coalition that includes both African National Congress and Inkatha Freedom Party. At the center of the dispute is the provincial government's decision to place the embattled ANC-led Mkhanyakude district municipality under administration. The intervention has drawn fierce backlash from the ANC, which accuses the Inkatha Freedom Party of using governance tools for political gain. But the IFP president in KwaZulu-Natal, Velinkosi Hlabisa, pushed back, insisting the move was driven by financial mismanagement, not politics, and said this is not a political intervention, this is a cabinet decision. As long as municipalities are passing unfunded budgets, Section 139 will apply. Section 139 of the Constitution gives provincial governments the power to intervene in municipalities that fail to meet basic governance and financial obligations. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli reinforced the stance, pointing out that the decision to act was unanimous and included support from the ANC MECs, a direct rebuttal to claims of political targeting. However, the African National Congress remains unconvinced. In a strongly worded statement, the party condemned the administration of the municipality as a politically charged decision, lacking justification, and called on communities to unite in resisting what it termed an opportunistic act. The joint developments, the cabinet reshuffle in higher education and unfolding conflict in KwaZulu-Natal underscores the mounting pressure on Ramaphosa's administration to maintain stability while rooting out dysfunction across key sectors of government, with higher education influx and coalition tensions flaring in one of the country's most politically volatile provinces. The next few weeks could prove pivotal in shaping the trajectory of both governance and alliance politics in South Africa. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.